All right, welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, June the 9th, and this is the Cluster API project meeting. Cluster API is a SIG Kubernetes project, and as such, we are following their community guidelines. So generally that means be kind to each other, and if you would like to speak, please raise your hand. So with that, I think we will get rolling here. One PSA today, I don't know who added this, but 4.0.beta.o has been released. Does anyone want to talk about this?
Yeah, I wrote that. So we released the tag yesterday. There were a few hiccups along the road because now we have two sub-modules. Well, two Go modules to release. One is a sub-module. So apparently we only have one to get one annotated tag. So if you ever do a release, make sure to only annotate the main 040, for example, tag, and not the test one. Other than that, things have gone pretty smoothly. The release has been cut, and yeah, we're just getting feedback from all the adopters and make sure that yeah, before we cut the 040 final release, everything, it looks good. That's exciting. It's a lot of work. I'm eager to see what the release note bot is actually going to spit out from 03 something. Going to be a lot of changes. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be fun for sure. Yassine, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, what was the timeline for other providers to, once 040 is out, what was their timeline to get the V1 Alpha 4 support out? Because I think it would be ideal if we had providers following up in terms of release.
No strict guidelines from my side. I think I would just gonna ask folks to just update. I know that CapG actually has already adopted Alpha 4, which is good to see. And maybe folks want to give an update, like Cecile and Nadir. Yassine, I guess you spoke.
Yeah, Cecile, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I think it really depends on if, as the provider, you've been following up with the changes as they went in and taking in the nightly builds. That's what we've been doing in CapZ, and so I think it gets us pretty close to the finish line. So as soon as the final release is out, we can cut over to that and then run our test, bake it for a little bit, and then probably we'll be ready to release. But I think for providers who haven't started adopting Alpha 4, that's probably going to take a while. It's a really big release, and there are a lot of breaking changes. I really recommend using the provider doc, the V1 Alpha 3 to V1 Alpha 4 doc. I'll try to send a link here, but that's been really useful for us. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, that, I guess if you got a link to the doc, you could put it in the notes too. That'd be great. Any other updates people want to talk about on this one?
I do have a shout out to give to Chris and everybody that's working on CapN, because they did the first release, I think yesterday. So congrats folks for the first release, 010, right?
Yeah, the actual tag will get created in just a second. We're just finishing that up, but thanks for the call out. And yeah, it'll be that 010.
Yeah, that's very awesome. And what, I guess, for those of us who haven't been following this closely, what is CapN? Oh, Cap Nested, I see, okay.
Yeah, so it's basically pod-based control planes. So it'll deploy a stateful set for the API Server Controller Manager and an etcd to actually run within a cluster. And then we have a couple components that we've been building outside that we're going to be integrating in the 1.x release that actually make it so that those workloads get synced down into whatever the underlying cluster is. So within Cappy's terms, that would be the management cluster if you're running within itself. And that's the whole nested nature of it.
That is very cool.
And yes, somebody in the comments called out that we want a demo. Definitely, I want to schedule that soon. As once we get this release out, I want to get folks looking at what that is. We do have a demo doc that will walk you through it, which is under the CapN repo under docs. I think it's like walkthrough, or it might even be the README.
Yeah, demo would definitely be appreciated. This group loves demos, and I think we probably don't get as many as we would probably like to see. So that would be great. All right, anything else in the PSAs? Okay, then let's move on to the discussion topics. Or actually, I see there's a release blocking issues update. Should we, I guess, go into this? Are there any release blockers? Looks like no, there are not. All right, we can skip over that. All right, so discussion topics. Cluster class proposal check-in. I'm not sure who added this, but you are free to start talking about
it. Yeah, I can talk about this. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone who actually took the time to go through the proposal doc as well as the proposal PR that was raised. It helped me to take a look at it from the perspective of others who had not or who were not involved in the design of the proposal. So thanks for that. I have tried to basically address most of the comments that were in the doc and the proposal, and I think I have a couple of questions that are left to answer. I will answer them, and hopefully I would like people to go through the doc once again and see if I have answered all of the questions, and if there are any more outstanding questions or concerns that people have around this proposal. That would be very helpful.
Okay, awesome. And I guess if we could get a link to that in the notes, that'd probably be helpful too.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody,
I can add. Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, Sagar. Yeah, if anybody who's been reviewing this or maybe has not seen it yet would like to give it a review, that'd be greatly appreciated. So next topic, unless anyone has anything more to add on cluster class. Just not seeing anything in chat. So, okay. Next topic, Jack Francis on ephemeral storage. Why don't you go ahead?
Quick update to folks who have been following ephemeral storage requirements in etcd pods on 120 plus. I see Lubomir is here, so thank you, Lubomir, for your help. We've basically been attacking this from two dimensions. One is to try to fix as much of the race condition surface area in kubelet that's sort of reasonable in a single PR. That's that first PR, 101.882. That will improve the outcome for static pods with ephemeral storage. And the second PR is a PR that removes the ephemeral storage requirement from etcd pod in kube80m in the meantime, which will get cherry picked into the next 120 and 121 release. Lumir has pointed out that based on lots of folks' experience struggling with this, that we should probably advocate that this storage feature doesn't graduate to GA quite yet. But yeah, that's just a quick update. If folks have been struggling with, the easiest way to find your way into this is to build a more than one control plane node cluster on 120 plus, because the way that etcd quorum, when you increase the etcd quorum from 1 to 2, which happens on your second control plane node, and if etcd is delivered as a static pod, then not until that etcd pod actually comes online as a container does the etcd cluster come back online. So if the etcd pod can't come online because kubelet is in a deadlock with ephemeral storage at 0 or just not available, then that etcd pod will never come online and your cluster will never come online.
Okay, Good update and
That's it.
good to know. Yeah, like, are we looking for more reviews on these, or is this just kind of an awareness thing for the community?
No, it's an awareness. Yeah. So again, Lumir was super helpful on the second one, and there are lots of folks participating on that first one. It's almost at the last mile, I would say. It's got like a soft LGTM from folks in SIG node.
Awesome. I guess any other questions or comments on this topic? Okay, I'm not seeing any more activity there, and there's nothing else on the discussion topics at this point. I guess I probably blew past this, but usually we give a chance for people who are new to the community to say hello and introduce themselves if they'd like to. So since we got a little bit of time, if anyone is new or hasn't talked to the community before and would like to say hi and introduce yourself, please raise your hand and we'll call on you. All right, so I'm not seeing any hands going up, and I'm also not seeing any more topics being added to the list. So I'll give you a few seconds to consider if you'd like to ask something else or discuss something before we close this meeting off. 3, 2, 1. All right. No, it seems like there's nothing else for us to discuss today. So let's call this meeting to an end, and we'll see you all next week.